It's been a long road to the finals of this year's PBA World Championship. Over 250 players started the journey, but now, 1 month later, only 4 remain for the final eliminator battle. Among them, a pair of international two-handers, Australia's Jason Belmonte and Finland's Osku Palermaa. Will this be the first time in history that a two-hander takes home a major title? Find out next. Today from the South Point Casino and Exhibition Hall, ESPN presents the 53rd edition of the PBA World Championship, the first major of the season. It began with the field of 204. The past few weeks, it's been reduced to the final 4 we have today. Seeking his first major, 24-year vet, Ryan Shafer.
This is his 13th major telecast. 4 times he's been a runner-up.
From Espoo, Finland, your number 5 seed, Osku Palermaa.
He won his first career title at last year's World Series of Bowling. Can he grab his first major title with 2 hands today?
The man who dropped the 21st televised 300 game in PBA history, Jason Belmonte.
Coming off of a perfect game from last week, Belmo looking to ride a perfect wave to a victory and a major title.
And your number 1 seed, haunting his 2nd career major title, Rash.
He won that major back in 2007, and he hasn't won since. Today, he looks to right the ship.
And one of those cheering Sean on, that young man, his pal Dan McCarty, who Sean became friends with recently through the Best Buddies program. Dan suffers from a very rare bone disease, but today, he's not thinking about that. He's here with the best seat in the house, hoping to see Sean win a championship. And here's a look at your rules. The eliminator format. We'll see all 4 compete at once. Low man out. Match number 2, the remaining 3 meet again. Low man once again out. The remaining 2 will bowl for the title. And we're glad you're with us. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Chris Barnes. And we are about to get underway here from Las Vegas. The first major of the season, the PBA World Championship. Jason Belmonte will start us off. Belmo, your number 3 overall seed coming into the 4 division play. No 300 game for him right now as he leaves the 4-pin. What a moment that was last Sunday, watching Jason drop a 300 game under the lights. The week before that, Rash almost did it as well. 10-pin.
10-pin.
First time ever this elimination format has been used in a major. Rash, by virtue of absolutely dominating the qualifying, the 40-game qualifier in this event.
Guy never trailed.
He led by almost 300 pins. He got to choose the oil pattern.
And that oil pattern, the Scorpion. There's Ryan Shafer. Knows all about being a bridesmaid at a major. His 53rd career TV finals appearance. Still without a major title. Only has 4 to his credit. There's a sentimental favorite. It is clearly Ryan Shafer.
Without question.
And our second two-handed bowler, Osku Palermaa. So you got Rash, Belmo, and Palermaa. The oil is going to take a beating today.
Chris, how do you see that working out for Ryan Shafer? Rob just hit the nail on the head. 3 guys that absolutely torture an oil pattern.
The voodoo roll we put to the test for sure in this one, because he is definitely going to get trapped in the middle of all that hook.
Whoa, skinny jeans fit just right. And as we've said, today's oil pattern is the Scorpion, which, by the way, is just one of the oil patterns you can bowl on in a PBA Experience League. Check with your local bowling center. Rash has the highest seed selected. It did not like this offering. He'll take the Brooklyn, but that's not the way he wants to drop all 10.
I suppose, though, you could rationalize that one as it makes up for the ring 10 in the first frame.
As you like to say, Chris, things have a way of evening themselves out.
Sometimes the only thing that keeps you sane.
Belmonte 9 spare in the first. So he goes trouble, and it's a strike. Rash is worried, and he drops the Brooklyn.
That's not good news for any of those guys.
Well, we know the success that Sean Rash had on the Scorpion oil pattern just a couple of weeks ago. You hit on it. Front 9, almost 300 game. Had a great battle with going head-to-head with Pete Weber that game. Weber had the front 8. Let's not forget this man right here, because he actually won on the very same pattern.
45-year-old drops all 10.
Tom Smallwood picked the pattern. Ryan Shafer won on it.
Ryan Shafer, the number 15 overall seed. Only 16 made the TV shows to try and get here, so Shafer kind of snuck his way in there and just kept on driving and grinding, and here he is in the midst of the Final Four.
Remember, low score out. Other 3 will advance to the next game.
2 of our finalists today, Randy, Jason Belmonte and Osku Palermaa. And here's Jason on the first time he met Osku.
When I first met him, it was one of the first questions is, hey, how come you bowl like me? And he asked the same question. And we live in 2 completely different countries, Finland and Australia, and we have very similar stories. He started at a very early age. I think he was 2 years old when he first threw his ball for the exact same reasons. He couldn't pick it up with one hand, and his parents didn't change him. Sometimes we joke and we say we're brothers from a different mother, different father.
Osku in the third, still seeking a strike, leaves double wood. He is off to a slow start here, but that also happened in the Carter division of this championship, which he ended up winning to get here to the finals. Hardwick division winner Ryan Shafer was second in the 08 PBA World Championship. Another one of those runner-up finishes for him. Spare, strike, strike.
Shafer's got to be one of the most underestimated players in the history of the PBA.
All 4 finalists clean through the opening 3 frames. The top 3 tied. Osku down 13. Top 3 move on. We'll find out who they are when we return to Vegas. The PBA World Championship is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. By DV8, we are DV8. Tonight, we bowl. And by the USBC and its 2 million members. To find out more about USBC, log on to bowl.com today. Recently, the sport of professional bowling lost one of its true icons. PBA founding member and Hall of Famer Don Carter passed away earlier this month at his home in South Florida at the age of 85. Carter dominated bowling like no other in the late 50s and early 60s. Really bowling's first superstar, winning 6 major championships, including 4 BPAA All-Stars, which was the forerunner to the U.S. Open. And he also won the inaugural edition of what is now known as the PBA World Championship. Carter was the first athlete to ever sign a $1 million endorsement deal, and that was way back in 1964. He was also featured in this memorable Miller Lite commercial from the late 70s.
Bowlers love light just as much as football players.
That's right.
And we also love the easy opening can.
You sure Come on, go ahead.
Our deepest condolences to Don's wife Paula and his family. Professional bowling has lost one of its best ever, a true pioneer and a champion, Don Carter. Match 1 of the 2012 PBA World Championship continues here in Vegas. Top 3 all tied up. While we were gone, strikes for everyone in the 4th except for Osku Palermaa. He has yet to strike today. Here's Sean Rash. 4 in a row for Team Rash. Yeah, big ham bone there here in match 1. That's right, Dad is singing to ham bone. That's right.
Gotta love Gene.
Good man, Gene Rash. Good man, Gene Rash.
Oh,
This
Jason.
for 4 as well. Off target.
Come on, mate.
2-5.
Just a little fast, but quite honestly, not horrible, only leaving the 2-5. A little bit right as well. Chris, what do you think about the way Osku Palermaa is attacking this pair?
His troubles really seem to be on this right lane. He threw a pretty good shot last time that went by the head pin. He tried to shut his angles down there, and that one goes high. He's going to have to make a change on the right lane for sure.
Oh boy. Open frame from Belmonte on the left. Osku steps up to the right, still without a strike, but the big news there, the 300-man Belmonte with an air ball.
As you can see here, Shafer still has this left lane tighter. He's playing further to the right, goes through the front. It actually ends up his break point is further left. The red line is the right lane. He can get it. He can stand further left, get it further right, and still get it to the pocket.
And it's Rob's favorite time. It's a ham bone fest at our first major of the season.
Hard to win without a ham bone. Belmonte open frame in the 5th. Here he is in the 6th.
Light on the hooking lane.
Chris, I believe you said last week in the opening match that Jason Belmonte was involved in that if you're going to beat Jason in this type of format, you need to do it right now in the first match and get him out of the way.
I think the first match on these longer patterns is the only chance that you get, because once there's friction on the lane, his rev rate supersedes everybody else within carry percentage.
Our thanks to Ryan Growney, the Vice President and General Manager here at South Point. Always enjoy our time here. This is the 2nd consecutive year that the PBA World Series of Bowling has been held at this venue. Our thanks to Ryan and his crew.
I think Palermaa and Belmonte are going to move left here pretty quickly.
Typically during qualifying, do you see Jason and Osku get off to slower starts than, say, the traditional players?
Just a little bit, but only on the longer patterns. On these shorter patterns, there's enough friction right off the bat that they can make the ball hook and use their speed to advantage to create area that nobody else has. On the longer ones, their speed's so high it actually works against them just a little bit.
Shafer, your leader right now. Here's his effort in the 6th, looking to drop the nickel.
Get up.
Messenger will not connect with the 10.
Really good shot. I like the way Shafer's playing him. Nice and controlled. Keeping the ball in front of him.
Finally, a strike for Osku as Shafer steps up on the right. And reflect back a couple weeks ago when you interviewed Ryan when he advanced to this show. He got a little emotional on you about the chance to finally get that elusive major.
Well, he got a huge break just to get past Andres Gomez. When Andres Gomez opened in the 10th frame. And boy, you could just see the emotion spilling out of Ryan. He finally felt like, hey, I got something that went my way for a change. Well, you've been so close so many times in majors. What would winning a major finally mean to you at this point in your career?
I can retire in peace. I'm 45. It's getting kind of late. I know Mike Scroggins won one pretty old, and he's my inspiration for that.
Thanks, Ryan.
And you can see right there just how badly Ryan Shafer wants to win today. Here's Belmo in the 7th. Strike number 4 for Belmo. Jason takes a seat, and the guy who's kind of become his rival, Shawn Rash, will step up next as we take a look at the leaderboard. Shafer, Rash tied. Belmo 23 back. Osku trailing Belmo by 11. Rash leaves the 9-pin. A lot was made about the whole Rash Belmonte incident last summer. Rash becoming enraged when he thought Belmo purposely crackled a water bottle during his throw. It got heated, maybe even a little ugly, and there were certainly some uncomfortable moments for the last half of 2011. You see the thaw has somewhat begun. I wouldn't say we're in spring quite yet here. Not a whole lot of communication between the two of them, but it is getting better.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go out to dinner together anytime soon, but I think they're cordial now, and they put a lot of it behind them, which is good to see.
And here are Rash and Belmo on how they view each other today.
The one thing that I think is really important and needs to be, I think, shared is that Shawn and I have a very deep rivalry, competitively. You know, I know that he's one guy that when I'm doing well, he's kind of, you know, peeking over there and seeing how I'm doing, and I'm definitely the same.
I think since we're both young and we're going to be out here for a while, it's going to be a rivalry. We're both going to make a lot of shows over our career. We're both going to win a lot of titles, hopefully. Hopefully I win more than him, but, you know, that's something I can't control. You know, we all are very, very good at what we do, and you got to respect that.
Those two sitting next to each other. Not a bottled water, but a cup of water there. And Osku on the right lane, looking for his first double.
And this will put him to within 1 of Jason Belmonte.
Double for Palermaa after 7 frames.
After an unremarkable first 5 frames, 1 double, and we're basically all even.
Rash trailing Shafer by 1. His effort in the 8th, right through the nose.
Remember, Shawn picked this Scorpion oil pattern by virtue of leading the 40-game qualifier by almost 300 pins. He obviously picked the Scorpion for a reason. And remember what he did on it just a couple of weeks ago.
Way right. Way right the whole way.
He's in trouble.
Really trying to force it to play straight right now, and it looks like he's just
Overamping it?
Just overamping it, trying to make it stay there. His last couple shots in practice, he'd moved left. I thought he was going to start there. He may jump there pretty quick now. Tough time to do it, though, in the 9th and 10th frame.
Excellent cover.
Leave that one out there.
Textbook cover. Walks away from that one. Osku looking for 3 in a row.
Shot hydroplaned.
Yeah, I agree. This left lane has been hooking earlier and tighter down lane throughout the World Championships. And that one just looked like it got up on top of it at the 40-foot mark. It's rare to see his ball not hook.
Match high 6th strike for Shafer.
And I think Shafer's managed his game better than the other 3 players to this point by far.
If you're in the Shafer camp right now, guys, who's the one guy you'd like to see get out right now?
I think Belmonte. I thought in last week's show he looked as comfortable as I've ever seen him look in a show. Looked like he put some of the things behind him, some of the pressures that have built up on him. He's not the guy I want to keep seeing throw shots left to me for the next 2 games.
I totally agree, especially coming off of what he did last week. Like you said, he's just way too comfortable. Get rid of him if you can.
Shafer and Rash fairly safe. Belmo and Osku in a dogfight here in the 9th.
And there it is. There it is again. Chris has alluded to this fact of how tight down the lane the left lane is here. And it seems like if you get just a little bit too fast, the ball gets on top of the old pattern and never recovers.
Messenger.
Oh, wow.
The backside didn't knock on the door. Nobody answered.
You know, and for most of us, that's just a flat 10. But these guys throw that head pin back at it so much. It really has to feel like a bad break when it doesn't hit it.
Osku, if you're the 10 pin, be afraid. Be very afraid. Big effort from Belmo here. Needs to cover the double wood.
One pin separates those 2.
Shafer will step up to close out the 9th, and the 10th will determine who's going to move on here.
A strike here, and Shafer will punch his ticket. Really good shot there.
Hasn't thrown a bad one the whole game.
No. He's playing the lanes perfectly. He's managing his game. He's making great shots.
You don't want to peak too early, though, in this eliminator format. You want to do enough to get by and have your confidence. You need to save your best stuff for the end. Thing's just exploding around the 7 pin, but it won't drop. Shafer wasn't pretty on the approach. Gets what he needed, though. Belmo after the 7. Little hip check.
Boy, that was just a violent, solid 7 that Jason Belmonte left. He could have struck out there and closed the door on Osku. Rash moving on. That was a big strike there because that's his fill shot, and what that does is it forces Palermaa to have to strike first ball in the 10th frame. Anything less, Palerma's out, Belmonte's in. If Palermaa goes strike spare, they will tie.
Rash already confirmed for match number 2. He goes backstage. Probably going to bring out another test ball.
Equipment hunting.
That's right. Shafer. This is his first effort in the 10th. He too has moved on already.
Another great shot, another ring and 10 for Shafer, but he's safely moving on. Left lane is the issue, it looks like, Chris, and you hit it at the start. Again, you see the balls not wanting to make that move down lane because of the left lane being tighter. How do you get around that?
All the players right now have chosen to start with their feet a little further right and get closer to it. The other option is to get softer with your speed. But this is not a group of players that really likes to throw it slower.
Shafer.
Shafer's the one guy with enough touch to go back and forth and do it. The other three guys hit it harder.
All right, here's Osku Palermaa on the left side. This a must-strike situation for him. There's your strike. When he gets a spare, it'll be a tie. Get a strike, and he'll be moving on. Shafer's final effort of match 1. So he's done with the 236. Belmo will sit and wait and watch his fate. Must drop the 10 pin for a tie.
Wow. This is just an absolute pure shot here. He likes it the whole way. And you can see the ball starting to make that move towards the 1-3, and then it just kind of flattens out. Massive ring and 10 for Osku. He has to make this.
Love to see the heart rate of these two guys right now. Whoa! Not much room for error there. And we are tied up at 203, and we will have the first one-ball roll-off between two-handers in PBA history. Osku Palermaa and Jason Belmonte coming up here at the PBA World Championship Finals. Welcome back to the PBA World Championship Finals. Just a few moments ago, this strike by Jason Belmonte on his fill ball in the 10th meant that Osku Palermaa had to strike out to advance. He got the first one, but number 2 comes up short. Osku leaves the 10 pin, which he barely converted. And that meant a tie with Jason Belmonte, scores of 203 apiece. So now it's time for the sudden death roll-off.
Ladies and gentlemen, by PBA rule, this tie must be broken by one-ball sudden death roll-off. The higher seed, in this case Jason Belmonte, will have choice of starting lane and order. If the bowlers are tied after that first shot, they'll move to the other lane in the same order, and they will alternate back and forth until the tie is broken. Jason Belmonte is elected to start on the right lane. He will go first. Good luck, gentlemen.
What do you think about that strategy, Chris Barnes?
I thought he would go to the left lane, to be honest.
Why?
He's missed the head pin a couple of times on this right lane. I don't think it's Jason's best lane.
Oh, boy.
6 count.
Only 6. Now, Jason may have selected that lane, maybe because it's not his best lane, but it's definitely Osku's worse. Osku only had 1 strike on that right lane. Here's Belmo's effort. And Osku needs only 6 to tie, 7 to advance.
But Osku hit the pocket the last 4 shots on that lane. Left some 10 pins, but he looked more lined up on that one.
Belmonte's hopes and dreams of winning his first major are just about over.
Osku moves on. So your 3 seed, Jason Belmonte, eliminated courtesy of the sudden death roll-off. Your number 1 seed, Shawn Rash, still alive. Ditto, Palermaa and Shafer, match 2 when we return. It took a sudden death roll-off to decide the final competitor to advance to match number 2. Palermaa downing Belmo. So Jason and his dreams of his first major, those are done. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Chris Barnes, 4 combined majors on the set. I am bringing nothing to the table. Ryan Shafer also does not have a major as well. He's clearly what we've already deemed the sentimental favorite. He seems to be in a very good position right now through 1 at least.
Well, he's got a lot of major championship experience, 4 runner-up finishes. You know, sometimes you kind of get a feeling that, hey, maybe this is my time, and that's kind of what I'm sensing from Ryan. He's bowling on a pattern that he really likes, that he has a lot of success with. And that first game, I thought he managed his game beautifully. He was 2 ringing 10 pins late in the game away from shooting 260.
As for Palermaa, really wasn't all that attractive of a game, particularly early on, the beneficiary of a good break. So where does he go from here, Chris?
Well, he's got a new lease on life, and he got rid of his biggest nemesis, the other two-hander, Jason Belmonte. He's got a little better feel in this right lane now. He needs to make an adjustment in the left lane. He gets that figured out. I think he can be the man to beat.
Well, the man who had the top scores, your number 1 overall seed, Shawn Rash. He dropped to 245 in match number 1. He is still the guy to beat, still hunting his 2nd career major title. Match number 2 from Las Vegas coming up right now. It'll be Rash up first here in match 2. Born in Alaska, spent a lot of time in Wichita where he bowled collegiately, now lives outside Chicago. First shot is a strike in match 2.
Little equipment change there on the left lane for Osku Palermaa. Now the Bulldog. Rob's hit it a couple of times. Sentimental favorite. Looking to win his first major.
Strikes across the board in frame 1.
Been so close so many times. 4 runner-up finishes.
Has only won 4 titles, has Shafer. Rash, he too has won 4 times. The last one for Shawn, you have to go all the way back to October 28th of 07. It was the USBC Masters in Milwaukee.
Watch this one. Does the same thing that Osku's ball. Got to those tracing arrows down there at 35, 40 feet. Got back up on top of it. Didn't complete the move is what we call it. It stayed on top, didn't go through the pins.
So Chris Barnes, let me ask you then, is this a fair statement? He who masters the left lane today wins this title?
I think that's a completely accurate statement. It's the toughest of the 2 lanes so far. Shafer has dominated that lane much better than the other 2 guys. Therefore, it's advantage Shafer.
If I ever tried to throw a ball that hard, I'd need traction.
I'd need a new shoulder and an elbow. Shafer giving the approach the evil eye there, right through the nose.
Oh!
That's a pretty good spare.
Palermaa, Rash, Shafer, match number 2, all tied up after 2 here at the PBA World Championship. The PBA World Championship is brought to you by Jack Link's. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. By Roto-Grip, the fastest growing bowling ball brand in the world. Roto-Grip is king of them all. By Alka-Seltzer Plus. Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels provide more complete cold relief than NyQuil. And by Columbia 300. Columbia bowls the world over. Extra Frame is the PBA's video subscription service for the PBA fan who wants more. This season, the PBA has added live wall-to-wall coverage of 4 events that can only be seen on Extra Frame. The first of those begins this Friday, the PBA Cheetah Open, presented by Ebonite. You must be an Extra Frame subscriber to watch these events. Monthly and yearly subscriptions are available. Head on over to PBA.com and sign up today. While we were gone, all strikes in the 3rd. So we're still tied up here in match number 2 at the PBA World Championship. Shawn Rash will kick us off here in the 4th. Go! Oh, damn it. 3-7.
Come on. He seems like he has one of those a game. You know, one of those errant shots, sometimes 2, leaves a couple of splits. If he's good on the split conversion, he stays clean.
Palermaa on the other lane leaves the 9-pin.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why didn't he say that in finish?
He's not angry enough. Oh, yeah! Remember that. A huge spare in the 4th for Rash, and we take another look courtesy of our Bear Fast Safe Pain Relief Replay.
Slides the 3 over into the 7 perfectly. And that helps him to remain clean through 4.
Make no mistake, Shawn enjoys that spotlight, especially when he's making shots like that.
Well, the adrenaline of just being on the lot, in front of the cameras and on the, on stage. It seems like you think of performers and music artists. They're always in front of people, always on a stage, and the adrenaline's always rushing, and it's easier to compete when the adrenaline's rushing instead of just kind of going through the motions, I think.
Quick glimpse of Rash over there trying to settle himself down. Now it's Shafer to close out the 4th and a chance to take the lead, trying to be the first in this match to double up. Down she goes. I don't know what that was, and I never want to see it again. Oh, no. Oh, no. Rash starting to lose control here. We heard how he likes that adrenaline rush, but he might need to rein it in, Randy.
It just seems like when this starts to go, right, it just gets so fast and out of control.
And if you're his opponent and you're noticing that, you want to facilitate that pace without taking yourself out of the rhythm.
I mean, we didn't get a chance to talk over the replay. He was up and throwing.
I'm starting to see the early hook, and it's making me want to try to go around it.
Okay.
I should just cheat in like I did go to game 3 almost.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
He's feeling friction in the front too by that conversation. He's going to cheat in left.
Woo.
He's a high energy, high intensity guy, but the one caveat he has to that is he gets fast, and when his feet get fast, his upper body gets forward, he makes bad shots. He throws them left or he throws them fast.
Push. Should have moved after Sean.
This ball looks like it checks early, never pushes to the right, goes through the face. Gets a nice break, though, tripping the 9 out late. That's a heck of a lot easier for 3-6-10 than when the 9's back there. Remember, low score out. The other two will advance to the finals to bowl for this year's first major.
Catch it.
Missed it.
As soon as you get it going that way. Bigger cliff here. Damn it.
Shot here.
It's been back-to-back 8 spares for Rash. His lead over Shafer only at 3 pins now. And Rash drops them all and gets a hand there from his buddy Dan McCarty. Even though those two haven't known each other very long, Sean says that it's a real inspiration having him here. Palermaa with a nice response on the right lane.
Yeah, we're seeing all 3 guys make a jump left here. All seeing friction in that 15 to 25 foot range, moving 3 to 4 boards left with their feet, a couple boards left with their eyes.
Palermaa hasn't missed the pocket yet.
Strike after that open frame for Shafer.
Now, 2 frames ago, he made that move on the left lane, didn't make it on the right, went high. I anticipate the same kind of move. A little 3 and 2 probably with his feet, 3 with his feet, 2 with his eyes.
Just a typical Sean Rash game. You know, he starts off kind of solid, then all of a sudden he gets too amped, makes a bad shot, leaves a split, makes it, has another errant shot, settles back down, comes back with a couple of strikes.
It feeds off that positive energy, that's for sure. Palermaa looking for a double here in the 7th. So that matches Rash's double. And now the pressure swings to the Shafer camp.
And to stay within 3, he needs to strike here.
See the insulin pump there on the belt for Ryan Shafer, a diabetic. It's a lot to overcome and to perform at this level. Shafer snaps that one in.
You said it, Chris. You anticipated a move. Looked like he moved a little bit left there. Ball went through the front part of the lane much easier.
Ironically, the lowest rev rate of the bunch has the best entry angle of the bunch. His speed control is allowing his ball to go through the pins better than the other 2.
Speed, right?
Yeah, speed, forward roll. You know, 2 things that Sean's great at is getting it forward, blending out conditions, and that big rev rate. But it does smooth out that entry angle through the pin sometimes.
I mean, that was a flat 10, and to me it looked like it was because it was just too fast. Ball never turned and faced the pocket good enough.
All of a sudden we got some folks missing the 10 pin.
Well, hard to believe Osku would ever leave a 10 pin with that rev rate, but again, Chris, you know, I think he makes a great point. Look out. He makes a great point in that Shafer's really getting his ball to go through the pins the right way. Thus, he's got a little bit better pin carry. You don't want to turn your head when either one of those players is shooting a 10-pin. Or any single pin spare for that matter.
I just did. I was looking at our scoreboard. And I jumped out of my seat there. I wasn't prepared for that. It's been frightening me all week. Again, Shafer not letting things get away from him and the pace he wants to play.
Could have taken the lead there with a strike. Instead, it's another 3-6-10.
Can't keep up with it.
You can hear him say he can't keep up with it. These guys are playing just a little bit left of him. He got caught right there, right in the middle of where Sean and Osku are playing. It's the problem with being softer. Oh, my.
7-10 split.
Well, he's bowling with two players that absolutely destroy oil patterns. But right now, unless Sean Rash can become the 4th player in tour history to convert the 7-10 on television, Shafer may be in a pretty good spot.
Shafer covers that one. Last time a 7-10 split was converted on television, Jess Stayrook, 1991 in Tucson.
20 years ago?
Leave it there. It's all right. Never know.
Tough break for Rash there. Pocket 7-10. Remember, low score out. The other two advance. The soil pattern's destroyed.
Well, they've just beat up the front. They beat up the front so much they forced themselves left. That oil that is not on the front anymore is now on the back. Ball's hooked in the front, getting on top of it on the back. No traction through the pins. Flat 10s, 7-10s. Square up, 3-6-10.
Oh.
Tommy Jones, baby.
Remember what I mentioned to you a little while back about sometimes the stars align, it's your time, you get the breaks that you normally didn't get.
You're getting that sense from Shafer.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of starting to shape up that way.
Rash now has to double. He has to double to make Shafer double in the 10th. Get the first one in the 10th.
Shafer did have an open frame in the 5th. It was on the right lane, but Shafer will be on the left this time, which has been difficult. Dan McCarty watching. Dad Gene. Sean, the effort. Leaves double wood.
Missed it at the bottom.
Palermaa trying to distance himself. Only his 5th strike comes at a great time.
And that means Osku will advance.
Sean covers. And another strike.
Sean needs 7 pins here to force Shafer to mark in the 10th.
Remember the last time that Shafer was on the left lane, he went through the nose and left the 3-6-10. You made the point, Chris, that he couldn't keep up with the transition. Be interesting to see what type of adjustment he makes for this shot right here. He does need a mark to move on.
Normally it's a 3-2.
Palermaa finishes strong. He's in at a 217. He's confirmed. Shafer trying to join him in the title match. And he's done it. Well, we're going to have a first-time winner of a major tournament. Ryan Shafer, 4 times the bridesmaid at the big major wedding. Tired of catching the bouquet. He wants the big dance and the big title. Number 1 seed Shawn Rash eliminated in match 2 here at the finals of the 2012 PBA World Championship, leaving Osku Palermaa and Ryan Shafer to battle in the title match. Time now for Randy and Chris to give us their keys to victory, brought to you by the makers of Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels.
Well, for Ryan Shafer, it's easy. He has to seize the moment. At age 45, these opportunities are starting to become too far and few between. He has 4 runner-up finishes. It's now time to seal the deal.
And for Palermaa, there's constant comparisons between him and Belmonte. This is his chance to separate the two-handers and establish himself as the best two-hander on the PBA Tour or the world.
Both Belmonte and Palermaa with 1 tour title, 0 majors. Shafer.
Ball change to start on the left lane for Ryan Shafer. And interestingly enough, Osku Palermaa had choice of starting lane. He decides to let Ryan Shafer start the match, which means Osku will finish the match on the left lane.
Palermaa, the number 5 seed. Shafer all the way up from the 15 seed spot. A 7-10?
7-10 split.
Just a very unusual pin carry when you're throwing that much power at it. You don't see Osku, Jason Belmonte, those guys leave stuff like this.
That was an all or nothing effort.
Yeah, that was 30.
That one touched about 30.
Yeah, that was 30 miles an hour.
He might have hurt himself too. Early tone set. Osku's fiance, Veronica Lento, and their beautiful baby Etta. A nice view of this one. Boy, she's handling this very well as Etta. Palermaa in the second. Bounce back shot. Gets them all to drop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, those 2 shots, this is not the one he thought was going to carry. We saw Ryan Shafer last game get a couple of these.
He's like, yeah, whatever. The good shot, I go blower 7-10. The bad shot, I trip 2-8.
Whoa.
Pinch high, only leaving the 4-pin. Changed balls on both lanes, not just the left lane. Players got a couple extra practice balls during the break. Obviously, Ryan found something he liked the looks of a little better.
Here's the arsenal that Ryan Shafer has.
Now using a nano pearl, was using a marble pearl. Top of the list of the hook rating. You know, it's funny, Chris, you looked over after the last game and you kind of said, has he used up all of the luck after those 2 trip 2 pins? Trip 2-8, trip 2. Well, maybe. Solid 9. That's not real lucky.
Not so much.
The PBA World Series of Bowling continues next week with the Bear Viper Open. Shawn Rash will make another attempt at a title along with Mike Fagan, Great Britain's Stuart Williams, and Venezuelan Ildemaro Ruiz Jr. That is next Sunday, a little later next Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN. Ten-pin.
It's almost like the ball weighs 20 pounds when it hits the pins. It's hitting the pin so hard.
And this is absurd. Watch the 6-pin as it goes around. It's not even going around the top of it. It's going right around the bottom. He's got to feel absolutely cursed on this right lane. He's just repeatedly beat on the pocket and just not gotten any strikes to show for it.
Maybe that's why he chose to finish on the left lane. He's using the high road on the right lane and outlaw on the left lane.
And the left is where Palermaa will go right now. He struck there in the second. Down 11 in the 53rd edition of the PBA World Championship.
Just somebody burned that lane.
Yeah, this shot checks, and unlike the last one, which went by the head pin, this one checks. Pin basically comes out of the back. 3-pin goes back, hits the 9, goes up in the air, and comes back and lands down right on top of the 10-pin to knock it out of there.
Last 2 frames have been 9 spares for Shafer after that opening strike.
Double wood.
Last time on that lane, he went 4-pin. Probably made a little bit of an adjustment, only to go light.
This is his last shot on this right lane. He did move considerably left. Moved a little bit too far. Got in front of it.
Not the time to get too cute.
That's what the two-handers do to you, though. They change the lane so fast you end up second-guessing yourself because the moves have to be bigger and faster than they normally are.
Our thanks to Kegel for all the help with the CATS system. Kegel, the official training center of the PBA. Last title for Ryan Shafer, got to go all the way back to 2003 when he won the Empire State Open, beating some bum named Chris Barnes. That was 9 years ago. Imagine the reaction if he should win today. The Empire State Open, the 4th career victory for Ryan Shafer. Back on the strike train.
We talk about how major championships define careers. Ryan Shafer, with only 4 career wins to his credit.
I thought you could have just moved it. Did you get it right on the 4 corner? Did you feel like you got it right?
If he could add a 5th and it's a major, it would make that resume look a whole lot different.
Palermaa made the major show in 04, falling to Walter Ray. 2 in a row for the native of Finland.
And he just took a 1-pin lead halfway through the title match.
His first lead of this title match. That's the strut of somebody who liked the roll. 2 for 2 in the strike department on this left lane is Palermaa.
Yeah, but the 2 strikes on that lane, one was a trip 2-8, and one went through the nose and tripped the 4-7-10 out. Very suspect on the left lane, and that's the lane he chose to finish on.
So I think those last 2 shots on this left lane have probably given him a little bit of confidence. They both hooked. They both stopped for a 4-pin. He can move a little bit off of that. It's not a big move. Little 1 board, 1.5 boards left with his feet. Should get him in the pocket the next time around. Shafer's not left of him. There should be nobody there to where he's moving into more hook.
Get up! 2 in a row for Shafer. Takes the lead. It's at 10.
Nice pin carry here. Makes a really good shot. Gets into that swish zone and kicks the 7 out last. When he's got it going, he strikes a lot, and his carry percentage tends to get very, very good.
Three, 6, 10.
Goes back and forth.
You can hear him. He moves left. It gets through the front, then it gets through the middle and through the back. He moves on top of it, and that ball hooked about 18, 20 feet down the lane and never had a chance to get to the pocket. Another 3, 6, 10.
Dropped it.
Leaves the 7th open. Palermaa an open frame in the first. Shafer.
You hook it at it, you can't make it. You throw it straight, you can't make it.
Now 1 in the 7th.
That's stupid.
See if Palermaa can capitalize on the opening that was just handed to him by Shafer. Strike number 4 for the Finnish international.
Osku now leads by 5 points. 8th rank.
Palermaa heads to the left lane right now. It's been a bit of an adventure over here.
This is the first frame where he trips the 2-8 out. He comes right back to the next frame and goes through the nose and trips the 4-7-10 out. And another shot that went high to leave a 4-pin. He's doing everything in the world to wait on Ryan Shafer. He's thrown some great shots that haven't struck. Ryan Shafer just opened. That would have been a perfect opportunity for Osku to put his foot firmly in Ryan Shafer's throat. Instead, the 10-pin stops him dead in his tracks.
The 10-pin's going to pay for it right here. So a spare in the 8th. Lead at 5. Shafer off that open frame. Here's his effort now in the 8th.
Pretty good shot here for a flat 10, but this ball doesn't really have a whole lot on it when it enters the pocket. See the 6-pin go to the sidewall and just kind of lay dead and in the right gutter.
And I think a little bit, some of that is reaction from that shot that hooked early last time. You get afraid to touch it. You get afraid to get on it a little bit, and then you push it by, and then it doesn't, like you said, it just comes in a little bit flat.
5-pin match. We begin the foundation frame 9th. Last 2 frames for Shafer. Open in the 7th on this left lane. And then that 9 spare. Liked it, and the 10 denies him.
Not enough gas entering the pocket. I mean, it looks really good, and then it just gets right in front of the 1-3 and just loses energy.
Is it time to make a change for him as he eyeballs the 10th, or do you stay with what got you here?
Without question. I think the angle is too extreme for that ball. There's not enough back end left in that bowling ball. He needs to go to something that'll turn the corner harder.
The question is, does he have a ball waiting that he knows the difference of, that he can make a call?
He gets the finish on the right lane. I think it's a little bit better lane for him with that ball. He's only got 1 frame left. But Osku can seal the deal right now by striking 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Worst shot of the day.
Actually, just the 9th and 10th with good count. Osku Palermaa is going to become Finland's 2nd major champion.
Mika Koivuniemi being the first.
Anything can happen on this left lane, though, and we've seen it. How badly would Ryan Shafer like that missed spare in the 7th right about now when he whiffed the 3-6-10?
There's your strike. Pushes himself up and propels himself that much closer to his first major. Well, he was with that shot all the way. Down and dirty.
That was just full beast mode right there.
8 will win it. Only gets 6.
Well, interesting.
Now he needs 3.
If he gets 2, Ryan Shafer can strike out and we have a tie. And again, how huge the whiff 3-6-10 for Shafer in the 7th.
Only needs 3 pins. He'll take 4 and the title. And the Palermaa family celebrates their first major. And Ida, say hello to some hardware. The PBA World Championship is brought to you by Bear. Try Bear Advanced Aspirin. Extra strength pain relief twice as fast as before. By Barbazol. Start your day cool with new Arctic Chill shaving cream from Barbazol. Better buy Barbazol. By Track. Evolutionary, revolutionary. And by Columbia 300. Columbia bowls the world over. For the 5th time in his 24-year career, Ryan Shafer, the runner-up in a major. And for the first time in PBA history, a two-handed bowler has won a major. Time now for your Geico Championship recap. Match number 1. went to a one-ball sudden death roll-off. Jason Belmonte getting 6. Palermaa, who was almost eliminated in match 1, drops all 10. So he moved on to match number 2. Sean Rash, your number 1 overall seed, struggled. Double wood. He had a 193. Ryan Shafer, 4 strikes to close out the match. Checks to make sure it is Ryan Shafer on the back of that jersey. It is. He moves on to the title match. Shafer, Palermaa, Osku, collapsing pocket after pocket. 203, 177, and he wins his 2nd career title and first major, and he's standing by with Randy.
Osku, that first ball in the 10th, you knew that if you got up and you struck, it pretty much sealed the deal. What went through your mind?
Well, I don't think I missed the pocket like 4 times max those 3 games, so I knew if I'm just gonna get a decent shot, it's gonna go there. And then it's all about the carry, and got it high enough, so I knew it's gonna strike.
Well, congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
Next week, Sean Rash back on television. The Bear Viper Open, 3 Eastern on ESPN. Osku Palermaa wins his first major championship, and by doing so automatically earns a spot into match play at the season-ending Tournament of Champions, as will all the title winners here at the World Series of Bowling. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.